Hello everyone, CompleteIndie here, and welcome to Battle of Wits. Today, we're going to be building around the brand new commander from the Brothers War, the fan favorite finally given a card, Ashnod, Flesh Machinist. Ashnod is a 1/1/1 with Death Touch that allows us to sacrifice a creature whenever we attack if we want to create a Power Stone token, a mana rock that can't be spent on non-artifact spells. Additionally, we can pay 5 mana and exile a creature card from our graveyard to create a free black zombie. For this deck, two main things to consider. One, we want to create some sort of token archetype to mitigate the downside of Ashnod sacrificing, and we want ways to take advantage of Power Stones. This leads to two strategies that are quite strange to combine. Mix of equipment for Ashnod and zombie tribal. Let's discuss that first theme first. Equipment are artifact spells with activated abilities, meaning we can use our Power Stones to pay for all of their costs. To start these off, we have various ways to grant keywords to Ashnod, such as Vorak Battlehorns, Haunted Cloak, and Sword of Vengeance. We also have ways to give Ashnod huge power and toughness buffs like Lashrite, Bone Horde, and Blackblade Reforged. We also have a few equipment that are a bit exceptional overall. Golemskin Gauntlets and Nettlecyst, for example, care about having more equipment, and Vorpal Sword, while not castable with Power Stones, has its instant death ability that becomes much easier to pull off with Power Stones. Additionally, Mishra's Self-Replicator is a creature that'll clone itself every time we cast a historic spell and pay 1, and the land Rogue's Passage allows us to make our giant Ashnod unblockable. It's worth noting, too, both of these abilities can be paid for with Power Stones. But that's not the only theme of the deck. As I mentioned earlier, we also have a major zombie theme running throughout the deck. A lot of zombies lend themselves well to sacrifice strategies, whether by creating tokens en masse like Endless Ranks of the Dead, using already dead creatures as an upside like with Diagraph Colossus, and being incredibly synergistic with themselves like Champion of the Perished. Cards like Death Baron, Liliana's Mastery, and Lord of the Accursed are all permanent cards that give +1/+1 to our zombie army. We even have cards like Tomb Tyrant, Cemetery Reaper, and Graph Harvest that buff our zombies while turning our graveyard into a resource. Cards like Ghoul-Caller Gisa, Tainted Adversary, and Headless Rider are wonderful creatures for going wide, being able to create tokens for us to use, and Liliana, Death's Majesty, Dreadhorde Invasion, and Tomahawk Calls the Dead are good if we want to create only a handful of tokens but with generous upside. There's also quite a few places where the two themes of the deck intersect quite nicely. Cards like Wand of Orcus create a ton of zombies whenever Ashnod connects, Death Tyrant makes it less than ideal to block Ashnod, and Nadier's Nightblade will hurt our zombies whenever we sacrifice zombie tokens to Ashnod, or they die in general. But there's plenty more ways to take advantage of the deck, with things like Prowling Geistcatcher, which will incentivize sacrificing even more, Profane Tutor, a search your library card that can be cast using Power Stones, and Abhorrent Overlord, which creates a ton of tokens that, while not being zombies, can still fill and overwhelm the board fast, as well as providing sacrifice fodder. We have the core of the deck, but we can't forget about card draw. Cards like Cryptbreaker, Foulmire Knight, and Undead Augur are all zombies capable of drawing us cards, and we can draw even more cards with things like Solemn Simulacrum, Mask of Memory, and by being the Monarch thanks to Custody Lich. Necromancer's Stockpile can discard creature cards to draw cards and create tokens if we feel the need, and Gonti, Lord of Luxury, and Geth, Lord of the Vault, while not card draw exactly, are card advantage from our opponent's deck. Remember that Geth can be paid for using Power Stones. We also have a plethora of removal. Cards like Ravenous Chupacabra, Dark Salvation, and Farika's Libation are ways of removing our opponent's permanents, while Ravenous Rotbelly, Zombie Apocalypse, and Decree of Pain are examples of board wipes at the deck's disposal. After our removal comes the complete opposite. Protection. Darksteel Plate and Swiftfoot Boots both give the equipped creature abilities that makes it harder to kill, and Unearth, Mortuary Mire, and Altar of Baal help return our creatures from our graveyard to play. Whenever we do that, or activate Ashnod's ability, we'll also be making tokens thanks to Tormod the Desecrator. Finally, we also get to run some ramp and other ways to access more mana and cheaper spells. Crowd Crypt is a mana rock with the ability to create tokens in the late game, Myriad Landscape is a land that can ramp us up quite a bit, and Defiler of Flesh lets us turn some of our mana into Phyrexia mana, paying 2 life instead, with decent upside. All in all, the deck comes up to less than $100, and honestly, this is, in my opinion, the best deck I've ever made for Battle of Wits, if not one of the best decks I've made ever. It has it all. Good removal, good synergies, cards that can break the board without breaking the bank, and above all else, being an absolute joy to play. Long after I'd finished testing this deck, figuring out what was and wasn't good, I was admittedly still pestering people to play against it simply because I wanted to, well, play it some more. Ashnod, Flesh Machinist lives up to the hype. Ashnod, being a fan favorite character, in part thanks to her beloved Ashnod's Altar, finally got a card. While I've seen some people undervalue or underestimate Ashnod, understand this, it's way stronger than it looks. A 1/1/1 with Death Touch isn't bad to begin with, but with a sacrifice outlet and the ability to both ramp and make tokens makes Ashnod's card quite a formidable foe. If you enjoyed this deck as much as I did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments below what sort of commanders you want to see me build around next, and I'll see what I can do. Until then, check out these videos, one that the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like, and the other is the most recent on the channel. And until we meet again, have a good day. See you all soon.